Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
And we are live in Sayville, New York at Timothy J. Hank Memorial Field. So glad you could join us to kick off the season as half Hollow Hills West collides with Sayville. It's the Colts and the Golden Flashes here on Long Island. Alongside Mike Murtha, I'm Lance Meadow, as this is a rivalry that normally, Mike, we wait until maybe the middle of the season to test the range of. These two teams actually met in the Division III semis last season. It was a victory for Sayville by 7, but here they go right out of the gates. We get things started.
It's a great way to kick off the 2025 season. Looking forward to seeing the new linemen that are replacing from last year. Gerald Filardi's not here. His son has left
Joseph, correct, yeah.
Joseph, sorry. So I'm going to see what Coach is going to do this year with his new quarterback.
And then Kyle Messina is out of the equation as well for Sayville. So a lot of changes across the board, and that is what is going to make this matchup extremely intriguing. So kicking off will be Sayville. Hills West will receive. And we are going to get the party started here. Henry Reese to kick off for the Golden Flashes. And we are underway here in New York as Hills West trying to get great starting field positioning, and right up the gut, they bring it across the 35-yard line, and that'll be a really good start here for the offense, which will be led by, as you pointed out, Mike, a new quarterback in Luke Taff.
That's a nice tackle by number 5, too, Arado from Sayville. That could have been a big play right there.
So Luke Taff replacing Joseph Filardi. Taff is a senior who was mainly utilized as a runner last season, but he's still considered one of the top quarterbacks on Long Island. And here he has an opportunity to set the stage early, as he'll be leaning on Jaden Smith and company, as Smith is in the backfield. And Jarrell Jenkins, the tight end, just going in motion. And it's going to be a quarterback keeper here. Taff wiggles up the right side. He is into Sayville territory, and a nice run to start their offensive attack.
You can see that he's not afraid to run. He's going to be a dual threat tonight. I think they're going to key on Jaden Smith, like you were saying in the beginning. But that's a nice way to start off.
Well, Taff ran 11 times, Mike, last season for 99 yards. So you do the math. He averaged nearly 10 yards per run. So we know he has the mobility, and they plan throughout the season, speaking to Gerald Filardi, the head coach, they plan on allowing him to do more than just flash.
Looking forward to that, and I know he's a two-way player, and I know he had a lot of tackles last year. I think he was one of the top 3 tacklers on the team last year. I know he also wrestles as well, stud wrestler.
So he picks up the first down on the ground. We'll also see Sal Caiazzo out of the backfield. Here's Taff. He's going to dump it off to Jaden Smith in the flat, and Smith is going to be twirled down at the 35-yard line. So they got their running back now out into open space.
Jack Dolan made that tackle. It was a nice tackle. Nice to see him. He's got wheels. He's dangerous on the outside, so I can see that's going to be something they're going to look to do. So far, they've attacked the outside of Sayville's defense.
Dolan, the Sam linebacker, who had 9 tackles and a sack last season, as we take another look, and Taff absorbing the pressure and got a wide open man.
Beautiful play. Just like you draw it up as a coach. Nothing better.
And you speak from experience, of course, in that department.
Nah, it's nice. It's nice to see kids taking advantage of what they have. There he is.
Taff is going to hand it off, and Sayville's defense read that beautifully, and there again is Jack Dolan on the spot.
Beautiful. He's a nice edge player. Beautiful getting upfield. Great open field tackle. They're going to have to continue to do that because this kid's going to be dangerous in the open.
Well, because if you're Sayville, you really want Taff to have to shoulder the load as opposed to leaning on Jaden Smith. As we take a look at the minute he got the handoff, he was met at point-blank range.
Absolutely. That's definitely the target they've been watching all week. They're probably going to try to make Taff run or make him throw. So
Dolan started 6 games last season. He was demoted, but Rob Haas loved his attitude. He didn't pout. He stuck with it. Speaking of sticking with it, they give it to Jaden Smith, who is able to maneuver around a pair of defenders as he's brought down just shy of the 25-yard line, but that is good enough to move the chains.
They continue to go to him. He's the hot hand. Keep giving him the ball until they stop it. Kind of like the way they, again, they're attacking the outside. We haven't seen one inside the tackles yet run, which I think that's Sayville's strength right now is their offense and defensive line.
Their trenches. There's a lot of experience, to your point, Mike, that they're bringing back talent in compared to the skill positions, which are going to be brand new for Sayville, and we'll get to that, obviously, when they have the ball. But right now, it's the road team, Hills West threatening on the opening drive of this game. Taff is going to hand it off to Smith, and like we saw earlier, immediate contact in the backfield. That's Ben Klaska, one of their inside defensive tackles.
You can see why they're going outside. They just tried to go inside, and they stuffed it, so it's a great play.
You were a bit of a soothsayer advising them from the booth as to why the outside makes a lot more sense, as Klaska is a 6'2", 235 junior who is known for his physicality, and we got a sample of that right there.
That's a big boy. Don't want to go into him. You want to run around him.
I wouldn't want to interrupt him at the lunch table. I thought that's what you were going to say, given I'm sure that man has quite the appetite. But in all seriousness, Rob Haas, head coach of Sayville, is so high on him. He says he could be an FCS defensive lineman at the next level. That's how strong they feel.
That's great.
Taff off the left side is tripped up, and Jack Dolan all over the place again.
Jack Dolan, that's a great play. Fought to the outside, kept his outside hand leverage free, and made the tackle. Beautiful play. That's what you call the All-American play as an outside edge setter. You took on the block, and then you make the tackle.
After a few first downs, a really nice recovery here by this defensive unit for Sayville. A pair of plays in which they went nowhere.
Consider that a bend but don't break. So they're doing a great job. We'll see what happens here. I would imagine they're going to have to put it up in the air here. And it looks like Sayville is ISO on the backside. We'll see what happens with that safety if he's going to sneak over.
Here's a 3rd and 18. They're going to need to convert here. Taff's got plenty of space. He's going to try to extend the play here, and he's got nowhere to go, so he's simply just going to run out of bounds. He tried to throw it away at the last second, and again, it was Jack Dolan up in his grill.
So far, Jack Dolan right now is MVP right now in his defense. He's all over the place. He's on the right side. He's on the left side. He's in the backfield. He's the edge player, so very nice to see that.
Jack Dolan is omnipresent as we look at members of the defensive front for Sayville. Klaska, Javen Taff as well, who will make his presence felt. So on 4th and 18, there was no yardage gained on that last play.
Yeah, Javen Taff's a great athlete. He's an all-county wrestler, going to Army to play lacrosse. So he's a 3-sport athlete, which you don't see nowadays, but he did a great job there. Tough to get outside an athlete, so we'll see what happens.
Now, Gerald Filardi is keeping his offense here on the field. We'll see what they choose to do here on a 4th and 22. And now they're going to talk things over.
7:45 remaining in the first.
And with 7:45 to go, timeout taken, so we will take a breather here. No, we're going to keep it here. Absolutely. Let's take you through some of the players to watch throughout the course of this game. And we'll start with the road team, Hills West. We've seen Jaden Smith out of the backfield, and Sal Caiazzo is also a two-way player, and these are the two guys that bring a lot of experience back into the mix here.
Yeah, you can see that Jaden Smith is definitely their outside threat, and I think they're going to continue to go to him. That's the success they've had so far. I'd like to see them sprinkle in Sal Caiazzo, definitely, because I think they got to take it off the target off Jaden Smith's back right now.
As we look at their numbers from last season, and then on the flip side, Sayville also is going to be leaning on a lot of athletes, specifically out of the backfield for them, because it's interesting with Holohan, who is a new arrival essentially, a sophomore. They have big expectations for him, and Alex Labella is somebody also that is going to man the middle. He's going to be that defensive captain setting the standard.
Yeah, he's the center in both offense and defense. He's the center over there, and that's going to be interesting to see too. More experienced line goes definitely to Sayville the edge there.
So the offense back out here on 4th and 22. We'll see whether or not they try to draw them off sides or
they're going to punt. Yeah.
And that's what exactly it looks like, is Taff is more than capable of punting. So just because the quarterback's in does not mean that they can't take care of this with special teams, as he lays it down at the 10-yard line, and that is exactly going to be where Sayville will take over. So a well-executed play by the offense/special teams to now force Sayville to have to go 90-some-odd yards to get into the end zone.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a field position game to begin with. That's a great job. Not bad. They stalled a little bit there, but now they got to put their hands into their defense.
As that was Rob Haas, the coach's son, fielding that, making sure that he secured the football and not taking any chances. So glad you could join us here at Timothy J. Hank Memorial Field. Quite the scene for two teams that have a rich history against one another. Hills West looking to right the ship after losing both contests last season, including one in the playoffs, as Sayville went on to lose to Garden City in the championship. So here's Patrick Cohn, their quarterback, and they're going to go to the ground on the very first play with Tristan Vitale, the 5'10", 175 senior.
Well, Tristan, we're going to see what's going to happen with Tristan. They have he's got a lot big shoes to fill. With Messina graduating from last year's team, he just started off with a positive play. That's all they're going to look to do, to keep moving the chains.
So we look at Cohn's numbers from last season. The 9 touchdowns against 2 interceptions. He completed 58% of his passes. And if you recognize the name, it's because Jack is his cousin, who went on to play for Wisconsin and Notre Dame, and has been in the XFL and the CFL. And he's going to keep it himself, and look at his frame go to work as he sheds a tackle and crosses the 40-yard line. So that is a man on a mission at 6'5". Patrick Cohn does all the heavy lifting himself.
That's a great job. Nice read right there in the middle. Got in the middle and busted to the outside. Beautiful play. He can run, though. That's definitely something on the stat sheet you guys are talking about from somebody talking with the coaches. I think he's going to be a dual threat here. I think they're expecting to throw, but they're running right now.
Gavin Engelhardt tried to wrap him up initially, and then Jarrell Jenkins was able to slow him down, as this Hills West defense getting challenged right away. And they are going to run this offense through Cohn this year because, as you mentioned, Kyle Messina, he was the spark plug last season. He's no longer here. It's all Cohn. It's his show. And he hands off yet again. And Vitale takes a few hits as he was shy of the 45-yard line.
Offensive line right now, they are trying to impose their will right now up front. So they're doing a good job. They're both two captains on that offensive line. Richard Futanetto, and you have Alex Labella at center and left guard.
And Labella started all 12 games at center last season. Fontanetta, they moved him from left tackle, so he's playing a new position this year as Ben Kloska now slides in at the left tackle spot. A lot of activity out of the backfield, and it's a quarterback keeper, and this time Hills West read it to perfection as they bring down Cone.
Yeah, they're giving him options. They're letting him read that. He can give that to the running back right now, or he can actually pull it and go inside. So he's taking a look at it, the inside guard. He's reading that guard to see where he's going to go.
Cone ran 20 times for 88 yards last season. He had a long run of 23, and we saw a 21-yard scramble already in this game. So they're going to have to keep close tabs on him on a 3rd and 5 here with 5.5 minutes and counting to go in quarter number 1.
They're throwing. Here we go.
And Cone is going to air it out, and he hooks up with his man for a first down right off the left side as it is Sayville taking care of business there. Yet once again, Colin Darling, their wide receiver.
That's a great play. Colin Darling's going to be one of their targets they're going to go after. Got nice size, and he's got great hands.
A lot of upside for that young man who will have a chance to play a integral role within the scheme. And Sayville trying to get on the board first after Hills West had a few first downs thanks to Jaden Smith, but then stalled just as they cross midfield. And we're going to have a season, so you really don't know what to expect out of your team, given you've only been practicing against yourself, and they each maybe had a scrimmage here or two, but the sample size is minute.
Yeah, you can't win. You can't win without.
As
Beautiful
Vitale.
play. Beautiful play. They tackled Taff on that one, thinking that he had the ball, and they pulled it and went outside. That was a nice play.
So Vitale gets some of that penalty yardage back.
Going back to what you were saying about the turnovers, you can't, the turnovers in any sport you do, you can't do that. You got to limit that. And penalties. The more disciplined team is going to be the team that's going to come out on top.
So a 7-yard gain on that play makes it 2nd and 8 for the Golden Flashes. As Vitale is trying to fill the void left behind by Kyle Messina, and again, he gets out to the left side here, wiggles in and out of traffic, and a late flag comes in. Not enough to pick up the first down, but we'll see what the flag means. And Vitale following his lead blockers, Mike, and making the most of it.
That was a great dip. He did a dip in, dip out. A beautiful move to get to the outside and create something out of nothing. They had him in the backfield, dead to rights, but he got outside.
Face mask, and that's going to go against
5-yard face mask penalty.
the road team. And that means that is going to move the chains here for Sayville. So that is a huge turn of events here as the Golden Flashes are trying to milk the clock, but also now trying to get deeper into the opposing territory.
Don't be surprised here, Lance. You go take a shot here. First down, off of a penalty. You can see him throw it up in the air here.
Especially with a few runs leading him in, could set up a play-action opportunity.
Absolutely.
And a high snap, and Cone's just going to get rid of it as he dumps it off to Javen Taff, his tight end, as he gets across the 30-yard line. And Taff is a great story. Right tackle last season, now taking on a completely new position. And you look at him on screen as we take another look at the last play. He is quite the presence, but it's his athleticism, Mike, that really intrigues Rob Haas and the staff.
Yeah, he's a great athlete. He can run. In lacrosse, he plays median attack, so that's a downhill runner. So that's usually not your right tackle. But he's a big kid. He's been that big since he's little.
And I asked Rob Haas, I said, how does he like the tight end position? He says he loves it. We didn't have to convince him. They also don't need to convince Vitale to find an opening, as he loves that left side, as he's brought down from behind after getting inside the 20-yard line.
That was actually a nice play by Engelhardt to get off that and shed that block. If they would have had that block, he would have walked into the end zone.
So a fresh set of downs here for the Golden Flashes. It's been a mix of Vitale and Cone for the most part on the ground on this current drive.
Absolutely. And you called it before. We said the pass, play action. Those are the things that are going to kind of hurt Sayville, I think. Hurt the Colts. Sayville, that's something that they're going to have to go back to.
And Cone again keeps it. And look at him maneuver right through the gut of the Hills West defense for yet more drainage on the ground.
For a quarterback that's 6'5", they don't usually move like that on the inside.
He's slippery.
Beautiful, beautiful double team right there.
Jarrell Jenkins was in there on the stop, who plays tight end on offense. Linebacker here on D.
Yeah, Kloska and Angelowski, they both did a great job on that double team, collapsing that line for him to get through.
So after a 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4 here. Cone with the pocket collapsing. Off balance throw, wide open into the end zone for a touchdown. As the Golden Flashes strike first, you could have not drawn up any better. It's Jake Arado with the first touchdown of the young season.
Beautiful play, pump faked them, little wheel route on the outside. They're in man, so that's what happens in man when you're playing man coverage. Nobody on them. Beautiful play. They'll definitely come back to that play again. That's a nice little wheel route by Sayville. Beautiful touch on the ball as well.
So Patrick Cone gets his 10th career touchdown pass, and Henry Reese now in to attempt the extra point. And it is no good. So it'll stay 6-0 Sayville over Hills West with just under 2.5 minutes to go in quarter number 1. As we talked about the ground and pound attack for the Golden Flashes, and then after they use all of their energy, they then catch them sleeping through the air.
Beautiful play. I'm very impressed with Patrick Cone with his poise in the pocket right there, but his ability to run, I was not expecting that, and it's a nice thing to see from a quarterback that has been known for a pocket passer. That was a beautiful drive with him running.
They just did not want to take chances with his legs last season, and part of that was the lack of depth at the quarterback position. It's understandable. This year they feel a little bit better, but also with Messina out of the picture, their star running back from last season, they say to themselves, well, why hold Cone back if he can put his stamp all over this game?
No doubt. That's going to be tough to defend moving forward if you have to defend the pass and the run. Just like you saw there, that was a beautiful drive to take up most of that first quarter right there as well.
So Hills West looking for a response, and they had a nice return on the opening kickoff, and will look to do the same here to try to alleviate things for Luke Taff and the rest of the offense, as it will be Reese kicking off after missing the extra point. And a short kick, which will be fielded at the 25, and some extracurricular activities there that leads to a flag, because it appeared to be a fair catch, and I don't know if Sayville was aware that there was not going to be any movement following the catch, so you had 2 tackles in on the return.
It was strange. I didn't see a fair catch. He just stopped, so I don't know. I thought the kid kept playing it live, but then he kind of went a little bit beyond the green field and went onto the white over there outside the line. So that's definitely going to be a 15-yarder.
We're going to have a personal foul, and that means it's going to be, again, great field positioning for the Colts. And it's funny, we're listening, well, I don't know if it's funny, maybe funny for one side, but the crowd in favor of Sayville here was saying that a whistle should have been blown perhaps to indicate the play was dead, because as you mentioned, Mike, you didn't see any signal for a fair catch.
No, and then the player just kind of stopped, and then I don't know, maybe he was playing a little possum, and then thought maybe he'd get away with it, but I really think he thought the play was over. Sometimes the nerves, too, of a young player, how that happens sometimes, too. Definitely like to see Hills West release Taff a little bit, let him throw it up in the air.
So from the 43-yard line, Hills West will start its offense up for the second time this evening. They started off positive on the first drive, then faced a 4th and 22. Here's Jaden Smith, and he gets tripped up, or else he was going to have all open space just shy of midfield.
If Rob Haas didn't make that tackle right there, he was off to the races, no doubt. And they're going to continue, like we said before. They're going to go to Jaden Smith until they stop it. So he's a great runner, great threat. And like you said before, I don't think he got a lot of touches last year.
He had 38 carries last season. He did average nearly 7 yards per carry, but limited size in terms of his workload compared to what they have in store for him this season.
Absolutely.
So 2nd and 4. Again, it is Smith. And this time has a hard time moving the pile forward for Sayville as he's just going to get across midfield at the 49. So a minute 18 and counting here in the first quarter. Apologize for the technical difficulties with the clock, but we'll certainly keep you posted with the score here 6-0 in favor of Sayville.
Definitely one thing you're going to watch out for. I think Sayville, a lot of their linemen go both ways, so that's going to be interesting to see as the time goes on. If they're going to wear down a little bit here with the run.
Ben Kloska, Michael Morgan, both offensive linemen, and flags come flying in from all 3 referees.
Flag on the play, false start.
So that is the 2nd false start penalty that we've seen in this game thus far. As we look at Luke Taff, the quarterback of the Colts in his senior campaign.
Big shoes to fill. And I think they only have. I think there's only one returning offensive lineman. You had Raymond Herrera. He's the only returning lineman right now. So they're gonna experience. You know, it's tough to come out against Sayville, but you know what? That's the way you start off and you build off of that.
Yeah, he's their right guard, the only one that started last season. They do have some guys that are still on the roster, but they did not start, and that pass incomplete, intended for Cade Diaz.
You haven't mentioned his name yet, but he's another dual sport athlete as well. I know he wrestles. I think he was he's a league champ last year wrestling. So a lot of his accolades last year were on the defensive side, with his tackling ability, which kind of goes hand in hand with the wrestler.
Well, they view him as a Swiss Army knife because of his athletic background. As we look at the starting offense for Hills West, and Cade Diaz, one of their top 3 wide receivers. Jarrell Jenkins, the tight end, somebody also to keep watch on throughout the course of this game. 4th and 7 here. Now, they lined up in the offensive set and then punted. We're going to have a flag come in here as they were just trying to milk the clock and see if they can catch Sayville off guard.
Yeah, they're going to. I would imagine now they're definitely going to punt, but some people believe in get up there and get the extra rep in, especially in high school football. Got guys at onside kick, they don't punt, so I think they're going to punt here. They'll make Sayville again try to drive the whole field because they did a great job of that 90-yard drive they just had in the first one.
Well, they're mixing and matching personnel here as we see. This is hockey line-esque changes that are being made. And it's going to be the punting unit now that is out there. As Marcus DeGregorio is their punter. So it won't be Taff who connected on the first punt. And
it's Luke Neugebauer back there to return, but didn't get it back that far.
As that takes a friendly Sayville bounce. So they're going to have great starting field position at the 41-yard line with 16 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And, hey, they just went 90 yards, so you tell them to go a little bit over half the field. Doesn't seem to be problematic for Cone and company, but really now the big transition here, Mike, for the Hills West defense is how do you slow down a dual threat quarterback who's proven he can be just as dangerous on the ground as he is through the air?
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job. I think they're trying to play man here, and they're trying to put a little bit more people in the box and try to put pressure on him. That's what you got to do. He hasn't made many mistakes right now, so hopefully maybe get a turnover here or there and try to get the ball back here.
Cone connecting for a touchdown pass to Jake Hirado earlier in the game. And look at this opening on the ground for Vitale as they get into Hills West positioning and territory. And actually, that was Holohan, excuse me, their other running back. The twos going to work here, 22 and number 2. And Holohan is somebody that they want to see run away perhaps with the position, given the fact that he is somebody that can be such a shifty player. And that was the latest example of that here to end quarter number 1 with Sayville leading Hills West 6-0 as you are watching the regular season opener between both of these teams on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
What's up, this is Sean Lights Out Merriman, former Charger and Bill, and you're watching Varsity Media.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Back here in Sayville, New York, as we move to the start of the second quarter here on the Varsity Media Sports Network after a nice run by Holohan to end the first quarter. It is Sayville now in Hills West territory as they are on the move again thanks to this real three-headed monster in their running game. It's Cone, their quarterback, and their 2 running backs, Vitale and Holohan. Play action, and Holohan has to reach back to make the catch and bulldozes his way to the 30-yard line. So don't question his 5'7" frame. He plays much bigger than that.
Really nice play right there. I'm not sure if it's going to be coming back. It looks like it is. That was a nice tackle, downfield tackle by number 77. What a hustle play right there to make that. I don't know if he would have stayed in bounds there, he might have been gone. I don't think there was anybody else there.
That was DJ Hyatt, who you were referencing. So you could wipe out that positive play by Holohan. And even though it's not going to count, he had to reach back to make the catch because it was underthrown by Cone.
Super athletic. I can see why they want to get the ball in his hands as well. Very explosive. Very impressive what he did that last play right before the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, he and Vitale, they've been competing all throughout the spring and the summer to see whether or not one can emerge as the guy. Right now, they view it's 1A and 1B, but if you ask Rob Haas, he'd like to see if somebody can actually become the workhorse at some point this season.
I wouldn't be surprised they put all 3 of those kids in the backfield. 2 in the back with Cone. That's not a bad option either.
Quite the headache for opposing defensive coordinators.
I would not want to have to plan for that.
No, would not envy those individuals.
No, not at all. But it gives them a rest, too, because I think, again, they play defensively, so it's definitely good for rest.
On 1st and 15, Cone airs it out over the middle, and it's a strike into the end zone for a touchdown. Luke Neugebauer with his first score of the season. Pinpoint accuracy by Sayville's starting quarterback.
What touch on that ball. Perfectly led pass. Great hands, extended hands, caught it in stride, touchdown.
Neugebauer is a returning player, but he only saw time on defense last season. You could fool us. He's now looking to map out a pathway on offense. His Cone stood in the pocket and Neugebauer had to step on 2 defenders.
Yeah, he took a hit there too, but beautiful, right on point, got it out. There was no ball fake on that one. That was just straight up pocket passing right through the middle. Beautiful.
2 safeties were in the vicinity. It was Justin Ziva and Samuel Side. Is now Henry Reese will come out to attempt the extra point. He missed the first one, so it's 12-0 right now in favor of Sayville. So 2 touchdowns through the air for Cone, and he hits a pair of wide receivers. One is Neugebauer. That's the latest, and the other one to Arado.
That's great that you have multiple people you can hit targets. You kind of go anywhere. Sayville's dangerous. They have people all over the place. They hit Taff in the flat before. It's exciting to see what they're going to do this year. It might just be a reload here as usual here at Sayville.
And that is the second missed extra point by Reese. So it'll stay 12-0.
11:45 remaining in the first half. Sayville leads.
And it's important to note, he's got a soccer background, but they didn't really know what to expect with him. He comes to practice a few days each week because he's doing double duty, but they're still really testing the waters with him. They feel he's got the leg, but Mike, as you well know, soccer and football is very different in terms of the fundamentals.
We've done both. We've had soccer players come over. I think that's a new trend, and it's been successful for a lot of top programs. But again, you got to be willing to share, and it's not always easy when you're not at practice and you're not in the flow of things. It's a little bit different when people are coming live against you though as well. So just got to practice that, and that's something definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if they go possibly for 2 next time out there.
This literally is his first ever football game because of his soccer background. So when we say it's a feel-it-out regular season opener for both of these teams, that is not hyperbole. So Hills West now facing a 2-touchdown deficit as Sal Caiazzo, one of the players back to receive the kickoff.
I don't know if they're going to kick it away from him. I feel like he hasn't had a touch yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing him with the ball.
He's actually committed to Vermont to play lacrosse, which again speaks volumes of these multifaceted athletes that we have on the field.
Yeah, and lacrosse players usually, when you're a Division I lacrosse player, you got speed. It's one of the biggest things. Pooch kick. That was a fair catch.
The jury has provided the answer. No issues in terms of the signals there.
Yeah, they're pooch kicking that ball. I don't think they want to get back to those guys.
That was Miles Red, who did not have any mixed signals that he sent the way of the opposition. So Luke Taff and company facing an early deficit here in the second quarter with 11:45 to go. And they are trying to get something started with their offense. And the difference is when you have an established run game, Mike, on Sayville's side, you can work in the pass. Now Hills West is trying to establish that run game to perhaps open things up for Taff.
They got to loosen this defense's box up a little bit because they're controlling the front right now. The front in the trenches is controlled by Sayville.
Got Cade Diaz operating out of the slot.
Nice.
And it's a handoff to Smith, and he's trying to barrel his way through traffic and somehow turns that into a positive gain out near the 25-yard line.
He is definitely a speed and physicality. There's no doubt. He doesn't shy away from anything. Inside and outside type of runner.
Smith made the preseason top 100.
It's a special list to make here on Long Island, especially out in Suffolk County. It's big time. So,
do you speak from experience in that department?
Yeah,
from your playing days?
We've had.
Can we say you were on that list at some point?
I don't know if we had. We weren't allowed to have 100. I think we only had like 25 back in the day.
A smaller, unique group. Speaking of airing it out, Taff down the right sideline. Perhaps they run a similar formation to get him involved and try to pick up some positive yardage. It's a 3rd and 6 here, so this is a very manageable 3rd down in order to move the chains.
Absolutely, and this, like you said before, Lance, is that's going to be definitely a learning experience for their quarterback. See his pluses and minuses going through, and they're going to adjust as this game goes on.
Taff again will go deep down the field and still cannot connect with Engelhardt. Incomplete.
Third down pass falls incomplete.
So they went for the home run as opposed to an intermediate option, and now it's 4th and 6.
They must see something they like over there because they went to that same play twice. So. Don't want to give Sayville too many chances, though, because it seems like when they have the ball, they're going to score.
And you certainly don't want to give them a chance right in the backyard of your territory if you went for it here on 4th and 6. So that's why we see now the punting unit out. And this punt is going to be handled by Hazem Nassar. So they have 2 individuals who handle kicking duties. And as we see their number 12 back to receive it, and he'll be able to get it off cleanly to try to reverse the field positioning here.
It's Luke Neugenbauer with the ball.
And Neugebauer has got to make sure that he secures it after a few guys were trying to pull it out of his grasp. And it's a 12-0 lead with 10.5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Absolutely. They have not. The field position has definitely been in Sayville's favor right now.
Can the Hills West defense get a game-changing play?
They need one right now. I think I would bring some pressure here if I was Hills West, try to disrupt something in the backfield.
Well, we saw DJ Hyatt get involved earlier in the contest. This Cone is going to hand it off to Holohan, and Holohan gets gang tackled as he crosses midfield as Miles Red was in on that one.
LaBella, Morgan, Chase Neugenbauer, working out. They are just driving right now. The Hills West defensive line backwards. That was a 10-yard. They had 10 yards in space. There was space between the lineman and the running back. Great job by Sayville up front right now.
And you could tell, Mike, we've seen Vitale, we've seen Holohan, and there is a difference in terms of their skill set. Holohan offers them something very different than what Vitale brings to the table.
No, I think it's just he hits the hole extremely fast. Where Vitale more, he reads a lot more, and he likes to bounce outside.
So this is going to be a keeper for Cone. He sheds one tackle and nearly makes it another as he gets inside the 40-yard line, and his big frame makes him so difficult to bring down.
Lance, his feet are moving super, super fast right now. They are just like little pistons right now moving in. His feet, when he runs, his feet in the pocket. You can see why he is Division I commit to go to Lehigh, correct?
Indeed, and they are not complaining that they're going to be getting his services in the Patriot League sooner rather than later. But right now, Cone is trying to add more cushion to his lead, which is 12-0 with just over 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. And we got flags coming in from everywhere on Hill's west side.
Illegal formation, maybe? I'm not sure.
5-yard penalty against Sayville, still first down, 1st and 15.
Well, it's against Sayville, and it's going to back them up. And we've seen a trend with them that normally they have these mishaps after a first down.
That is true. That's kind of – it's a little kick in the butt sometimes when you do that, just from the standpoint you want to get positive yards.
And Cone gets wrapped up and brought down by Jamie LaPointe, the safety.
Beautiful play.
On the play, 2nd and 15.
And that was right at the line of scrimmage, which is a nice play.
And he's another player that is going to take on a bigger role this season. He did not see a lot of action last season. So Gerald Filardi said it's just a matter of getting players like him on the field, Mike. You got to get him game action because there's only so much you can simulate during practice.
Yeah, and that senior group last year, they graduated, was an amazing group that he had for over and over, and now he's got to replace them with another senior group, which is a good thing. That means you have a depth at the program.
Cone dumps it off. And Hills West defense in position there is Cade Diaz on the tackle. That was Gabe. Check that. That was, Gabe Bethea, who did
It's a nice little
get the
play.
catch.
That was his first catch of the day, right?
That was indeed. And then more flags came in.
It's an unfortunate flag again for Hills West there. Kind of made a play, would have put it third down. Now it's a first down.
15-yard penalty.
Almost in that red zone.
So a short catch now turns into 15-plus yards because of the personal foul penalty. And these are just the things, Mike, that you can't afford to do when you're down by 2 scores and your opponent has been moving the ball so seamlessly.
Without a doubt, you cannot do that. I'm sure Coach Filardi is definitely going to talk about that with his young men.
7.5 minutes to go here in quarter number 2.
Going up top.
And Cone is going to try to get out of traffic, and LaPointe says not on my watch as he brings him down from behind.
Number 72, Christian Sal. That was nice pressure right there. Didn't have much time to think. Didn't have much time to run. Kind of just put it down, got it underneath, and got some positive yards out of that as much as he could. But that would have been like a 6-yard loss, but he ended up making only like a 2 or 3.
So Sayville milking some clock here as they're knocking on the door of the red zone. And it looks like Rob Haas is going to take a timeout. Wants to talk over strategy here with them facing a 2nd and 12 with 6:52 to go in the second quarter. And as you mentioned, half Hollow Hills West with the penetration up the gut to finally get a hit on Cone. And they're going to need to compile more plays like that. Even though he's shown he can hook up with his wide receivers, you want to at least limit the damage on the ground here moving forward.
Absolutely. That was a great play. Hopefully they can build on that right now. Coming out of this timeout, I'm sure Coach Haas either sees something up top or he wants to regroup a little bit with his players so they can turn some positive points out of this again. It'd be a great stop for Hills West, though.
A Sayville offense that has moved the ball, it seems like, with ease. Pair of touchdowns in case you're joining us. Patrick Cone hooking up with Jake Arado on the first drive, and then Luke Neugebauer right over the middle on drive number 2. And here they're looking to make it 3 for 3.
Got Darlin isolated out here on man over here. We'll see what happens. Looks like they're bringing Cade over, number 10. Cade Diaz is coming on over. Javen Taft's here at the tight end side on the right. Nope, run.
And Holohan is wrapped up at the point of attack, and then another flag comes in, maybe a face mask. It was Gerald Jackson Jr., the safety, that made the tackle.
There was a nice play, and then the second tackler came in and grabbed the face mask on it. See right here in the replay.
That's a clean wrap-up, and then LaPointe grabbed him with the hand. So that's the second personal foul on this drive here against the Colts. And now all of a sudden, the ball spotted at the 20-yard line. So it's red zone opportunity here for Sayville.
Good time to go up top here. Pound it.
Holohan right up the middle. He carries defenders with him as he gets inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, man, he hits the hole. He is explosive through that hole.
He's decisive.
So nice. There is no hesitation at all.
Because of his shiftiness, they actually think he could be a solid slot wide receiver as well, and they could get him out in open space through short passes.
Absolutely. That's like that inside slot, the H-back, whatever you want to call it. You can bring him in the backfield, run 2-back. A lot of things you can do with him.
5:50 to go here in the first half with Patrick Cone trying to direct traffic. Another handoff to Holohan, and Holohan is going to be brought down inside the 5.
Only a sophomore, Holohan. That's unbelievable, man. That's impressive.
2 more years out of him.
See that hole? Look at Javen Taft dry blocking hole. He's still blocking him. He blocked him into the parking lot on that one.
And Jaden Smith just tried to push him down. That's running back against running back activity. And of course, Jaden Smith, a linebacker in the defense for Hills West. Can the Colts stop the bleeding here on 1st and 5? And that exactly is what the doctor ordered. LaPointe wrapping him up for the immediate stop. Holohan had nowhere to go.
Beautiful play. That's telling you a lot. LaPointe's coming from that safety spot, flying in. So they got a lot of guys in the box to stop this run.
Now, you can understand why LaPointe is one of their starting safeties this season. He has been extremely active.
Not afraid to hit, that's for sure.
And you need to have that attitude when you take on that position. So 2nd and 5. Holohan cuts back, and Holohan is going to find the end zone. Timmy with his first career rushing touchdown to complement the 2 passes, and it is now 18-0, all Sayville.
Watch that snap. Great handle. Handoff. Good blocking again. Javen Tiff again blocking him. That was the last play before. Same play. Ran it again into the end zone, this one.
That was just an omen in terms of what was yet to come, as we see Holohan talking things over with his teammates. He is a fun player to watch, and you could tell Rob Haas is going to probably spend the remainder of this season as Reese is successful. The 3rd time is a charm, indeed, as it's now 19-0 after he missed his first 2 extra points. But getting back to Holohan, just the creativity, Mike, that this offense can tap into. This is only game 1, and already you see they're making sure they can move him every which way.
I don't think Vitale's been on the field since that first drive, and I think that says a lot about their offense and what they trust each other. And that's good. That's a good decision by Coach Haas. Continue to stick with Reese and letting him get that 3rd one and get that confidence underneath his belt. Some coaches don't allow that to happen, so nice job by him. Hills needs something to happen here.
Well, the ideal spot for it to come is on special teams, where perhaps you can shorten the field for your offense. Caiazzo, one of the players back to receive the kickoff from Reese. And they're going to kick it away from Caiazzo as the Colts get brought down right across the 20-yard line. Just not a lot of space being provided by this Sayville defense.
Number 3, Jack Nolan, another open field tackle. Very nice job. Yeah, they're definitely not kicking to Caiazzo. They don't want him to have the ball at all, which is a smart thing. So they might have to try to do something to get him the ball, though.
Well, one of the ways that it could happen is through their offense here, as they're trying to get on the board late here in the first half to close the gap. Now, they got the ball first, so Sayville will start the 3rd quarter with it. And it's a quick handoff to Jaden Smith, and he's still on his feet. And Jaden is carrying defenders down to the 26-yard line.
He's all heart, man. He has not stopped his feet. Continue to get hit by 3 or 4 and carrying 4 or 5 on top of him. So that's a nice job by him. Definitely would like to see them hit maybe like a quick slant or something to get the ball into their outside receiver's hand to get something started.
Yeah, we've seen them go deep. We've seen them with the conventional runs, but not a lot of short passes and maybe emphasizing yardage after the catch.
Absolutely. Quick screens, any of that kind of stuff. Get them in space, your athletes, and let them make plays.
They put Jarrell Jenkins, the tight end, in motion, and Taft's got nowhere to go. He is brought down and sacked. John Andruskowicz with the sack as he lays down the hammer here in the first half.
He was not stopping. He wanted that sack. He smelt it the whole way. They had 2 guys on. I think Javen Taft was also there in the backfield too. That might have been a screen. I don't know if we were looking at that because they released. I'm not quite sure. It looked like maybe a possible screen underneath.
It didn't stand a chance. The minute that Taft backpedaled, he had 2 defenders coming his way.
Great play.
So it's a 3rd and 18 that this Hills West offense is facing.
They had a trip set left here with an ISO on the backside. I'm not quite sure what they were looking at, but Coach Flaherty did not like what he saw there and called the timeout.
So the Colts now will have an opportunity to talk things over. This is a team with a lot of change. Most notable, you change your quarterback. That's at the heart of it, but you've had personnel that is around the quarterback that also is taking on a bigger load too. So all of this added up as we look at the Hills West resume. This is what they've done over the last 3 seasons because of the talent that we talked about that they're no longer with. This is the art of consistency, Mike.
Absolutely. And again, I would imagine most of those 2 and 3 and 2 losses are probably to Sayville. That's something that they had last year. They lost 2 games. Their only 2 losses were to Sayville last year.
Yeah, last season they went 9 and 2. And you had the mid-October regular season matchup. That was
by a touchdown, I believe.
A 28-21 affair, and then the semis was 42-35. So both of the games were highly competitive and highly contested.
Yeah, Hills West had no problem scoring last year. They scored in bunches and droves. So that's something they're going to work out.
Well, Joseph Filardi, who now is at Syracuse, that's Gerald's son, the head coach, he only had 43 touchdown passes and 3 interceptions, Mike. Only 43-3 was his ratio.
He's a stud.
Remarkable. Taff
Here's a screen.
is pressured again. He's going to have to get rid of it here. He's just trying to buy some time, and he's going to take off, and he is going to be brought down, and a flag comes in right after that.
I think one of those kids might have led with a little bit of the helmet unsportsmanlike, possibly right there.
Being a 5, flag on the play.
Good pursuit, though. Taff had talk about speed, man. He definitely has legs. He outran like 3 Sayville defenders chasing him down.
So there you see, it's Clarkson Richter was the one that wrapped him up and then brought him down from behind.
I don't know what they got. We'll see.
And they called a personal foul.
Yeah.
I tell you, we just looked at that again. I didn't see anything that alarming, Mike.
Yeah, I don't know if you get a chance to see that again later on, but I'll tell you. I think it was another player coming down 50. He might have led with his helmet right there,
and that's it.
Right into his chin. You can't target, so that's like targeting. So
yep.
NFL, that kid might have been reviewed and kicked out, but not here.
No doubt about it, and that was Andruskowicz, who just got the sack earlier, who came in with the helmet. So it was a clean tackle by Richter, but it was what happened right after that, and the replay certainly proved that without any question. So a fresh set of downs now for Hills West. Can they take advantage late here in the first half? And nothing much happening on the ground with Jaden Smith pushed down by the man that has been at the center of just about every big stop.
I'll tell you, man, they swarm. They do gang tackle. They come, and with that in mind, you're going to get some penalties sometimes with that. So you just got to limit that, though, especially in a big game. You can't have those kind of things. Just give a little shout out to the replay action too. That was a nice job by our technicians out here tonight. So thank you for that.
Well, the honor goes to Becca Kazaks, our esteemed colleague and producer, who was all over that, as well as our entire production team. They don't need to consult with the league. It was crystal clear on that one.
We got that one right.
And Druskowicz, by the way, is a sophomore.
Swing pass.
As Taff is again brought down right on cue by the man of the hour. Now, one of the officials lost his footing. Now, are they claiming, Sayville, that the ball came loose?
I think he was down.
But it did look like perhaps the knees were down. We'll have a conference call here on the field.
And Lance, I don't know if you look out here, you look at all these kids that are out there for Sayville. They are all two-way players, which is pretty impressive in their shape. They're definitely in shape.
So that's Taff coming off the edge, and then the pocket collapses. That's And Druskowicz, it looked like he was down, though, Mike. No, you think he may have?
I don't know. That was close. But
From that angle,
if
it
the ball
looked
was out.
as if perhaps he was down before the ball came out. But let's take yet another look. So Taff, the quarterback, is the one that was swarmed. And you're going to see the pocket is going to collapse here. So let's keep
the ball comes out right. I think he slaps the
an
ball
eye here on moving forward with the right hand. He still looks like he has the football. And
it's
there,
gone. It's gone. Where is it?
the knee is down.
He's down. Okay. Ball's there. See, I think the ball's
See,
way
we
up
were
before
blocked
that.
by
Yeah, we are.
offensive linemen, so I think you may be right. I think the ball may have popped out
I think
even before Andruskovic
I think the film
was there.
Look, I think the ball's already out of the camera. I think the ball's already beyond it. I think they slapped it out. But good, lucky for them. Hills West got a call here for them, so they've been struggling right now with all the penalties.
Well, you still get a loss of yardage on the play,
No
since
doubt.
they were able to bring him down well out of the pocket. So it's a 3rd and 16 now, which has been, unfortunately, an ongoing trend for the Colts. 3rd and forever.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if Sayville's bringing the house here. They've been putting a lot of pressure on Taff.
Can Taff work his magic? He's trying
block.
again,
Great.
buy some time.
Great block.
Taff spots up, and he triggers one right up the right side for a first down to Cade Diaz on point.
Great play there by, I know Smith has been getting a low with running, but maybe we can go back there later. But I'll tell you, man, what an edge block to allow Taft to get outside on that. Beautiful block. K. Diaz, that's the first time we mentioned his name in that receiving. That's a nice job. Yeah, great block by 5. Beautiful. And again.
Jaden Smith. And then look at the fact that he was able to establish himself and set up, and
Penalty.
that's going to be a flag as Engelhardt lost his footing because he was tripped up. It's going to go against Vitale.
You can tell. No arguing that. His shoulder pads outside the shirt. So always tell the receivers, tuck your shirt back in. This way, or a lineman, when it gets pulled out, you know you got held. You can tell the official. That would have been a touchdown probably, though, if he didn't. So high school football takes it out.
And that's the 3rd time that we've seen Taft target Engelhardt also up the right sideline, and that's the first time they at least got a positive development out of the play. But what a tag team effort between Taft and Diaz to keep this drive alive here.
Absolutely.
With 1:01, and if you could score right before the end of the half, this is a completely new ball game.
But they're going again. The ISO, it's man on man. Vitale, they give him a lot of credit right there.
And they give it up to Jaden Smith, and Jaden Smith tried to work the middle, which has not been a successful routine this evening. That defensive line just ate him up.
Yeah, and their linebackers, man, they fly to the football. They're really good inside the tackle boxes right now. It seems like they haven't gone back to that stretch play or the outside run. Be nice to see if they can get outside.
We've seen Richter, we've seen Andruskowicz, very, very active. 32 seconds left. Taff is just going to dump it off. And a man wide open up the right side, and that is yet another first down. And again, it is Sal Caiazzo. So we saw K. Diaz, and now Caiazzo starting to all of a sudden make their presences felt.
You can see why they're not kicking to that kid. You look at the speed here. That's why he's going to Vermont, Division I lacrosse. Watch this. He gets that ball, and he's gone.
And that helps loosen up the defense, Mike, which is what they've been aiming to do.
You know, when you look at right there, number 50, Sayville running down the linebacker, he's their center also. So that, you know, that's a wear and tear when you have to run sideline to sideline and then go back and play offensive line after that.
You get your skill positions in open space, it could do wonders for your scheme, as we see Gerald Filardi talking things over with his squad.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man, Sal Caiazzo, he's a big kid. He looks big out there. His weight and his size, he's a very, very big
He's
athlete.
got some meat and potatoes to him.
Man,
it's fair to say.
Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah, he's in the back. I was going to say that. I'd put him in the backfield, maybe give Smith a little break.
Well, he's going to come out towards the sideline as Taff surveys the field and wisely just throws it away here. Not necessary to eat away some time. It'll be 2nd and 10 with 15 seconds to go.
I'll tell you too, Lance, I wouldn't mind seeing even like just get him running. He's so quick. Maybe a couple lead blockers out in front of him and let him roll out. I know they're looking to pass, but maybe he should just kind of a little design run a little bit, because right in the first, I think that first drive they had in the beginning of the game, he took off the first
But
play.
since then, we have not seen much of him on the ground. And that was a big gain.
It's their best field position yet.
But the key here is to punch it in and get that touchdown, that elusive one. Taff up the right side into the end zone. And there was some contact.
Yep, they called it. It's going to be 1st and goal.
As again, he was going for Engelhardt. We've seen Engelhardt and Vitale battle it out up that right sideline.
Also, too, I think Sayville, Hills has to go, they're kind of going in the air, too, with the time. Only 11 seconds left. Not sure if they're going to have enough time to, run a play and then time out or anything like that. So
pass interference, the call. As you're going to see Vitale on the top of the screen there.
Yeah.
Just pushing out Engelhardt out of play. So 11 seconds to go. And as you pointed out, clock management is key here. But remember, the defense is now much more on top of you. So limited, perhaps, options. We'll see whether or not they look to run here with Taff. And Taff is just going to have to get rid of it. Now the question is, did he throw it away before he was down? And flags come in.
Yeah, that's intentional. That was just out. No receiver in the vicinity, inside.
The one thing that could not happen here in the red zone is exactly that.
Even to come away with a field goal here would help the situation here. Come positive points.
That was Brady Dolan, the weak side defensive end.
Another wrestler for Sayville. Must have a good connection with the wrestling team in the Sayville.
Well, they know how to wrestle their way to the quarterback. I'd say that, Mike.
They can tackle, man. I'll tell you that. Nice to have. And I coach, I went back in when I was at Sayasa, I coach wrestling and football over there. And when your football team's good, your wrestling team's good, you always have some good athletes. So it's nice.
Seems to translate.
Definitely.
Pushes Hills back to the 25-yard line.
So now they back up to the 25-yard line as a result of the intentional grounding. And there is 1 second left. So if you're Hills West here, you're going to obviously try to take a shot into the end zone, and maybe you get a flag, maybe something can happen, or perhaps somebody gets open for a touchdown. But this is a huge potential game changer on 3rd and 25, given a score would be significant to cut into the deficit. You don't get anything. Remember, Sayville's going to have the ball to start the third quarter, and with the way their offense is moved, that's going to put an enormous amount of pressure on the Colts defense.
Absolutely. The problem is I just don't know if he has not had time over the last 3 snaps. So I think they need to focus on something quick, and hopefully an athlete can make a play.
Well, it's been play in the trenches that has determined the outlook of this first half. We have seen him target Engelhardt, but they seem to have had more success when Diaz and Caiazzo were involved either mid-range or towards the sideline. I mean, at this point, Mike, can you set up some type of a screen or quick slant, and can you get in the end zone under those circumstances? That's the question.
I was thinking even with the aggressiveness of Sayville's defense, possibly a double pass or a reverse or something here, some kind of trickery if you have it in your bag of tricks.
So you're seeing Sayville's defense giving them some space here, but there's 4 down linemen. And Taff is going to air it out, and that one sails over the head of Diaz out of play. Even if he caught it, he wasn't anywhere near the goal line. So that is going to do it for the first 2 quarters of this one. And it is all the home team, Sayville, with a 19-0 lead over Hills West in a contest in which Patrick Cohn, their starting quarterback, has thrown for a pair of touchdowns, and Timmy Holohan with his first rushing score to account for the 3 touchdowns for the Golden Flashes. We are going to step aside. We'll come back for the start of the second half as you are watching the regular season opener between Hills West and Sayville right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job in exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media has been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Palmer, stutter steps, 1 play, touchdown. Pascal is just, he plays bully ball. Bala burst up the middle. First down. It's a Daniel White show in the first quarter. Harmon, look at the spiral. High! Joey D'Esso ties the game. With him and Davis, Mercury diving, touchdown. What a run.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Get ready for an exciting season of girls lacrosse. The Long Island Junior Lacrosse League is gearing up for its 6th season this fall 2025. Don't miss out on the action. Join us for another incredible season of competitive lacrosse right here on Long Island. LIJLL is dedicated to providing high-energy, competitive environment for girls lacrosse while keeping the game close to home. Over the years, we've had the privilege of hosting many of Long Island's top high school and club teams, fostering talent and passion for the sport. With fields located in both Nassau and Suffolk County, we make it easy for players to compete and grow their skills. Contact us today, and we'll see you on the field this fall.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athletes' key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Cover, stutter steps, one play, touchdown. Pascal is just, he plays bully ball. Bala burst up the middle. First down. It's a Daniel White show in the first quarter. Harmon, look at the spiral. Are you high? Joey D'Esso ties the game. With him and Davis, Mercury diving, touchdown. What a run.
Now Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Lance Meadow, Mike Murtha back here with you here in Sayville, New York, with Sayville leading Hills West 19-0 at the break. So glad you could join us on the Varsity Media Sports Network. 3 touchdowns for Patrick Cohn, Mike, in the first half, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground. But I actually think the real storyline in the first half was the stellar play of the Golden Flash defense, really containing and boxing up Hills West.
Their defense has been lights out. I think they swarm, they gang tackle. I think bringing over a new DC, George McLaren, came over here. I think that there is no glitch in anything in the defense with a new DC here. He has brought his St. Anthony's experience. I believe he made a short stint over at Syosset, and now he is here. And having a nice shutout in your first appearance as a DC is a nice thing.
Not too shabby. McLaren, you mentioned 2 decades at St. Anthony's. It's the first time since 2000 that they've had somebody calling the defense that's been outside of the Sayville program. So normally it's in-house. They groom them. But Rob Haas said it was too good, too attractive to pass up on a free agent like McLaren, given his resume. And it's a learning curve, but I don't know. They seem to be catching on to his scheme pretty quickly here, Mike.
Yeah, especially it's tough, too, when you have an experienced 2-decade DC coming from St. Anthony's. He gets all the defensive players the whole entire practice, where here you get two-way players. I'm very impressed with their keys, the way they're sitting in the into their gap responsibility. They're doing a great job. So hats off to him and his new staff member, George. Good luck rest of the season.
So let's revisit some of the keys to the game. We had an opportunity to speak to both coaches earlier this week, and Hills West, the emphasis was limit the turnovers, win the turnover battle, 3-and-out mentality, meaning put Sayville in some 3rd and longs, precarious spots, and can't beat ourselves. Well, there's been a few spots where they've had penalties, they've had some hiccups, so Gerald Filardi is going to use that as a point of emphasis entering the second half. Sayville, it was about making them one-dimensional. I think for the most part, they accomplished that. Get home with 4. They feel really good about their 4-man rush where they didn't need to blitz, and then clean game, no turnovers. I would say Sayville's got a lot of check marks in terms of those boxes.
There's no doubt, and to be honest with you, get home with 4. I saw 3 down there. They were putting pressure with 3 guys in there, which makes it more difficult, especially when they were trying to throw. So good stuff by Sayville. Hills West, I'm sure, Filardi with his experience at Penn State, stint in the NFL, I'm sure he's going to do a great job with the adjustments at half.
Also, some time with the Pittsburgh Steelers as well, an extremely accomplished player in his own right, and he loves coaching. You talk to him, he loves being around the game. He loves grooming the players. Even if a number of his players are not going to make it to the next level, he likes to keep them engaged and just get as much as he can out of them. And this is quite the challenge for him even, because he's turning over so much of his roster that he has to give a number of these players an additional push who didn't receive a great deal of opportunity and playing time last season.
It's a little different, I'm sure. He doesn't have the car ride home with his son or at the dinner table. When you have 24/7 access to your quarterback, it's a little bit different. But
Rob Haas has that luxury, though, with his son.
He does, and I think he mentioned that. I think he said he's the quarterback basically back on the defensive side. So he's helping run that defense from the backside as a safety.
So Hills West got the ball to start the game. They're going to kick off here to Sayville. And it is going to be an opportunity for the Hills West defense to perhaps make quite the statement. But we're going to get a look at their special teams unit. And we're going to see Marcus De Gregoria kick off here. We've seen a mix. We've seen Nassar. We've seen him. We have seen a mix of different personnel, and as we mentioned in the early stages of the season, sometimes you're just trying to test their legs to determine what they're best and most comfortable with.
I mean, you look at 23. He is just a specimen right now. You got to get him some more touches in the backfield, which I thought they did at the end of the quarter. Sal's, I think he's going to be a big part of what's going to happen in the second half.
We see Kayaza, who you're referencing, lining up in between Jenkins and Diaz as we are underway here in the third quarter. And Sayville is going to try to capitalize with Bethea. He has an alley, and it closes up as he crosses the 25-yard line.
Gavin Engelhart with a nice stick right there, filling that gap. Looked like he had something, and then boom, played the outside leverage, and then cut inside, and then he made the hit. Great job.
Bethea, they believe he, when it's all said and done, is going to be the most explosive, fastest wide receiver on the roster.
That's great. He's got a lot. He's getting more and more touches. And he look back at a wide receiver. You put him back at a return. It's the same thing. He's catching it from a foot than you are catching it from a hand.
It's just a matter of him taking that raw talent and applying it to what the scheme calls for. And speaking of the scheme, it is the running game doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Vitale, just like he started the game, doing the exact same thing here in the third.
He lays the boom on that guy when he comes through the hole. Completely different running style, but still positive yardage. Watch this hit. He's leaning. Look at that body lean. Boom. Extra 3 yards. Talk about that yak yards right there. On contact. Great job.
Got a little up close and personal with LaPointe, the safety. Number 7, who's been all over the place. Vitale again up the middle, and he's going to try to drag some defenders with him, but the momentum going the opposite way. He gets to the 41-yard line, and that is going to move the chains and give them a first down.
Again, I think we talked about in the beginning, taking a look at all the different notes from both coaches. The offensive line, the experience, again, all the check marks go towards Sayville.
The Sayville offensive line has 2 seniors, a junior, and a pair of sophomores. It's really the right side where there is a great deal of newness. Chase Neugebauer, Luke's brother, is a first-year starter. He was called up as a 10th grader last season, but mainly played on D. And then right guard is Michael Morgan, who did start 7 games last season as a 9th grader, by the way, of all years. Vitale again. And this time he gets the edge off the left side, is pushed out of play by Jaden Smith, but that's going to make it a very manageable second down.
It's a big hit right there. I'll tell you, man, you talked about Taff, I think was a tackle last year.
Right tackle,
Taff.
yep.
They use him as a tight end, but they use him as that pro set back coming out of the backfield. You can see him with the kick out block right here. Beautiful, beautiful kick out block, allows him to get inside. Beautiful play. So kind of like putting a tackle in the backfield.
Well, a 6th offensive lineman doesn't hurt, and Vitale's not going to complain because it makes the hole even bigger for him. And we see Taff right there towards the right of Cone.
There he is.
And he's going to dump it off to Taff, and Taff now could show his athleticism, but he's tripped up. A great open field tackle shy of the first down marker. That was Gavin Engelhardt coming in.
He's a good tackler, Gavin Engelhardt. He's kind of all over the field, too. He gets there.
3rd and 1.
So instead of moving the chains, it's going to be 3rd and 1, and you're going to see Taff
beautiful
up top.
Nice little flat route. Get him out. And he can catch from it. I don't think you put your right tackle usually to catch a pass in the flat. So.
And I beg your pardon, it wasn't Engelhardt, it was Samuel Side, the safety, who came up.
Okay.
4-14, sometimes the vantage point in the booth.
No doubt.
Plays games on us, but a defensive back on the opposite side coming through with the play. And now this is a huge opportunity for the Colts defense. 3rd and 1. Can you win the battle in the trenches here, Mike? And can you force them to maybe punt or at least have to run a 4th down as we look at the beautiful view here in Sayville, New York? You could not ask for a better painting version of this, I would say.
It's a Navy sky right there. My grandfather used to say, I think it's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow. I think I think you got to put everybody up in the box here. Tell you, be honest with you, I wouldn't be shocked. Rob Haas maybe goes up top here. Little play action, kind of put the dagger in right here.
Well, the touchdown pass to Neugebauer earlier in the game split the secondary after they were thinking about stopping the run. So let's see what.
Neugebauer's out there by himself, too.
And they're going to give it to the quarterback, Cone,
nice.
And he is just going to push the pile forward for the first down.
Looked like a little Josh Allen-like right there.
Well, he's got the length of Josh Allen. I don't know if he has the same frame. Allen's put on some over the course of time, but hey, there's a difference between a paid professional and somebody in high school, and Cohen still finds a way to get the job done.
It's funny, I saw an Instagram post about, I'll talk about that in 1 second with this play.
Leaving us on the edge of our
I'm
seats
going to
here,
leave
Mike.
you on the edge.
Oh, my goodness.
About Josh Allen.
Cone on first down goes across the field, and that is going to be yet another first down maneuver as he is able to connect with yet another different target, as that is Colin Darling with his second reception.
Man, what a cannon. You can see why he's a Division I player, throwing that out route like that. I mean, that was on a rope. So Josh Allen, it was great because people that were going through the recruiting process and stuff, and he said, I had no likes, nobody interested in me. I had no stars against my name. He goes, I just went out and made it happen, which, if you watch his personality and his demeanor, that's how he is. He made himself. So all you young athletes out there, there's another Josh Allen, I'm sure, waiting to make it happen.
A product of Wyoming. And look at what he is now, one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League, the reigning MVP, trying to get the Buffalo Bills to that elusive Super Bowl and Super Bowl victory. But it's Patrick Cone that is trying to lead Sayville into the end zone for the 4th time today. And if you are Rob Haas, you've got to be pleased with Cone. Not that he doesn't have experience. Remember, he played last season, but just the overall command, I think, is on another level, and the ability to add that dimension of him running, I think, completely changes how defenses are going to go up against this offense this season.
Without a doubt. I don't, to be honest with you, it's such a great surprise to see someone so balanced. he can run and he can throw. I mean, that's going to be really tough to defend. And then you have the 1-2 punch of Vitale and Hallahan in the backfield. I mean, you can't pick your poison on that one, because one can beat you with his speed, the other one can beat you with his size.
And I think on this drive, we got a taste of, Mike, exactly what you're talking about. Vitale, right up the gut. Powerful runner, takes defenders with him. Then you have to account for Cone will keep the ball, right, and he'll use his frame. And then Hallahan is that slippery fella that is very hard to bring down and is so elusive.
And then you got Nugenbauer on the edge, and then you have Darlin on this edge, and then you have Bethea. He's another one that you can hit. So they're well-rounded. And their offensive line, I'm going to be honest with you, they're dominating. They're dominating tonight.
The riches are on full display here for the Golden Flashes. And it's out of the timeout here. They're trying to continue this drive.
Very impressed with number 52. I don't know if you watch. He's an inside linebacker, Labella, and he plays center. I mean, you pretty much run the show on both ends inside the line, as a center and then as the linebacker.
And you have to be smart to assume both of those positions.
Absolutely.
Cone, right up the middle, finds some room and is brought down and sandwiched just shy of the 25-yard line.
And he is a slasher inside, which is wild to see. Very patient also. If you watch him, he waits for his blockers to happen, let it happen in front of him, then he picks and chooses where the hole is.
We have a player down for Hills West. So while they attend to that player, an opportunity for us to look at the upcoming schedule for the Golden Flashes. As we see, they are going to have another home game before they head on the road for 3 straight. More of a reason why this is an opportunity for them to gain chemistry and develop their identity before they have to take this show on the road.
Yeah, I think Islip is going to be it's always, kind of close on the South Shore. Conswag is another strong program. Hop Hog is always, up and down a little bit here. And then Smithtown West is, they've come alive in the last couple of years too. They're a lot of fun to watch. So it's kind of cool for them to get, like you said, get their feet wet, get started. But I'll tell you, man, they look like they're cementing their offensive line in place, and they're opening holes for anybody that wants to run that football.
Well, this was the number 1 seed last season, and they certainly have the talent to repeat that all over again. And they are inching closer to the red zone and putting more and more pressure on this Hills West defense. A 2nd and 6 as we approach the 9-minute mark in the third quarter. Here's Vitale, cuts back left and twirls around just shy of the 15-yard line.
Great cutback right there. Put his foot in the ground and just went straight ahead. Beautiful. Looked like he had the edge, but he put his foot in the ground and just went.
Yeah, it almost looked as if he was going to run up the right side.
Right at the edge, yeah.
And
looked
then
like he had it.
He decided to take it inside. I don't know. I think he may have even had a chance.
I think he could have. That was a nice block by the receiver on the edge right there. That was beautiful. He sealed it. He kind of is that. Early in the game, he did that dip move where he goes in and out.
Vitale had 1 touchdown last season. Can he add another to his resume? Cone is going to mow over a defender and get down inside the 5-yard line.
Wow. That's impressive, man. He lowered his shoulder like he was a fullback there, not a quarterback.
He does not shy away from contact. He uses all 190 pounds of that frame.
Man, look at this hit.
Had help from 2 offensive linemen as well. Kloska, the left tackle, involved. 1st and goal from the 5. Can Sayville punch it in? They give it to Vitale off the left side. He reaches the pay dirt for the 2nd time in his career. The 2nd rushing touchdown of the day for Sayville. Their 4th overall, and the Golden Flashes are doing a lot more than just flashing with respect to their offense this evening.
So nice to see Vitale get his shot and get his chance to get in there. So sitting behind Kyle Messina last year. Now it's his time. Beautiful. Again, offensive line. Man, you and I can run through that hole right now, so they're doing a great job.
You could absorb a little bit more contact, though, than I can if we're comparing notes, as Reese hits his second extra point after missing the first two to make it a 26-0 lead in favor of Sayville here in the third quarter. But as you just brought up, Mike, it's the vision for the running backs. You know, we've talked about the skill set, the slipperiness of Holohan, the power of Vitali, and clearly having the offensive line win up front. But those running backs deserve a lot of credit for making good decisions in unison with the blocking.
You can see they practice that. They're very, very patient. They wait there, and when they decide to hit the hole, they're getting positive yards. To be honest, if you're going back through this game, I don't really many times that they didn't go forward. There wasn't many people going backwards in this game so far.
And that, again, has been the huge difference maker. If you're looking at both of these teams, at least with this being their first litmus test, it's the play up front that has separated both of these programs. Sayville leaning on the big boys on the O-line to set the standard. And now Hills West still trying to solve the riddle with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter.
There you go.
Here's Caiazzo. And Caiazzo gets out of traffic, but then is gang tackled and brought down.
The purple pile right there.
He was making his way towards the 30-yard line.
I tell you, Sayville, it looks like they had the edge, but very disciplined. They all had their lanes when they're coming down the field, and they waited. And again, they don't give up on a tackle. You can look, and I'm sure there's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hats in that on the film every time.
Well, it's a relentless group. They don't give you much wiggle room. They certainly don't give you even an inch. And as a result, it's going to take perhaps some creativity and some guys getting out in open space and winning their battles to jumpstart this offense, which is still trying to get on the board here in the third quarter. Luke Taff has been under a lot of pressure. We've brought up the Sayville defensive line, specifically Clarkson Richter and John Andruskowicz, who have been putting their stamps all over the place in this game.
Like to see, that's nice to see somebody else different a little bit in the backfield tonight. Kaiaz, I think he's a strong, powerful runner. Maybe get him involved, get him going.
And they are going to hand it off to him, but nowhere to go. Immediately met again by that strong front.
Looks like Sayville knows where they're going before they snap the ball, because they're meeting them at point of contact.
Bit of a delayed handoff here, and Caiazzo.
They were in the backfield. Not much you can do there.
And again, it was Andruskowicz. How many times have we brought up number 52's name?
All night.
Broken record. And if you're Rob Haas, you're saying to yourself, he's a sophomore. I still have 2 more years of him, and he's already playing at this level.
Yeah, that's impressive for a sophomore to come in here and do that in a big game, first game here. And he's been dominant.
Another handoff, and this time much more success up the gut for Caiazzo. He's just short of the first down marker, so a very attractive and manageable third down coming up. Got good blocking there as he maneuvered up the left side.
Absolutely. Everybody got hat on a hat and just moved forward. Nice job.
So the clock ticking away here below 6.5 minutes. And they need 5 yards to move the chains.
Definitely very enticing to look at those inside slot receivers for a possible screen, but we'll see what they do.
Well, they've got 4 wide here. And the quick pass and just out of the reach of his tight end, Jarrell Jenkins.
In my mind, that's the right look. You just got to make that connection. That's the stuff that I think they're going to have success. Spread out the offense the defense a little bit, and try to pound the ball back inside.
And also, the routes seem to be right in the vicinity of the first down marker, too, in terms of that depth that you need.
Absolutely. He might be going for this. I don't know. A little frustration maybe he has to go for once he gets something going here positive.
4th and 5, you're down 26-0. Hard to blame him.
Nope.
Gerald Filardi for giving his offense the green light. Time is against you at this point.
I'd be doing the same thing.
Except you'd be showing a lot more emotion on the sideline, something tells me. That's what you left out.
Probably.
In terms of completing that sentence.
It's frustrating, I'm sure, for him as well, coming off the seasons he's had back-to-back-to-back. But only a junior, Taff.
Taff is going to take off, and he's got space, and Luke puts his head down past the first down marker, and they still live to see another day.
I mean, I think Luke Taff might be one of the fastest kids on the field right there. He was shot out of a cannon. That's a great job. I'd like to see him maybe even do that again, run a little bit more in this offense. Watch this, puts his foot in the ground, he's gone. And I give him credit, sitting back in that pocket all day. He's been getting kind of beat up a little bit, so nice play.
So a fresh set of downs for the Colts with Jenkins, their tight end, in motion. They give it to Caiazzo, and he was trying to bump out to the left side, and again, Sayville just plugging all those holes.
Yeah, they are just a gap responsibility defense right now. Yep.
Alex Labella.
Again. Well, you think about it, we haven't really mentioned their linebackers as much because their defensive line is making all the tackles today. So
they're spreading the wealth now. Jack Dolan, though, early in the game, we were talking about him nonstop. Now we're seeing a little bit more of Labella, and Ryan Linker is their other linebacker, who's a junior, and he was up last season as a 10th grader, served as a backup. They gave him an option. They said you could stay on JV and start and do damage, or you could come up, develop on varsity. You're just going to be a backup. Without any hesitation, he said, I'm taking the latter. I'm going to be a backup, and they love that. Yeah. Especially now with him.
It's paying off right now.
Correct, being in the mix. Taff in trouble. Trying to work his magic, and he lets it unload, and it's going to be out of play. What a last-second effort there by Justin Ziva, but they're going to say he was not able to keep his body in the field of play.
Man, he not from lack of effort, though, I'll tell you that. He was fully extended trying to get that ball. Tough, we can't see that angle on the sideline. You get the toe in. Yeah. Oh. I think his back hit first.
Made a sliding effort there. And that's what you want to see. Go up and make a play for your quarterback. And let's take yet another glance. And it looks like his backside fell on the white line. He went up. He just ran out of room to complete the catch.
And then when your back hits out, you're out.
The tush did not cooperate on that one.
It did not. No toe drag needed on that.
Taff trying to hang out in the pocket here.
Steps up. Oh.
And he's going to be hit from behind. The ball comes loose, but the ball was out of play as it was recovered by Sayville. Rob Haas, the coach's son. And again, Labella and company in the mix.
Clarkson Richter is doing a nice job, too. I don't know, the last two plays, he has some nice pressures coming from the backside. He's forcing them, flushing them out of the pocket, and everybody else is kind of cleaning up. So he's doing a really nice job over there.
It's their rotational defensive lineman. You're going to see.
Taff, man. Holy, that's a great bull rush right there.
And right here, he's going to be hit from behind. Wow. And that hit was Brady Dolan. Dolan was the one that forced the fumble. And you see Rob Haas comes in, but he was already out of play at that point.
Beautiful. Trips.
Here's Taff again.
And
Taff trying to create something. Got tripped up at the very last second. Now, are they going to give him enough? It looks like they are. Yeah, and that is going to move the chains. That's a heck of an extra effort run by the starting quarterback.
Well, I'll tell you, they're starting to use him. He's starting to run more. They actually had trips right. They took the motioned out the running back, And this is design right here. They just draw, quarterback draw. Taft going upfield, went right underneath it. Beautiful play, man. He has some wheels, too, this kid, Taft. Very nice. Good effort right there.
And that may have been a touchdown-saving tackle by Luke Neugebauer, who came in at the last second. We've got an injured player down for Sayville. So the training staff attending to him with a 26-0 score here with 4 minutes to go in the third. And it is Hills West that is driving, trying to get on the board for the first time. Speaking of the Colts, here is their upcoming schedule. So they'll head home for a pair of games before back-to-back road contests in early October. And this is going to be a new-look team that will be on full display in front of their home crowd shortly.
Yeah, I mean, that's good that they have the home against East Hampton, that's for sure, because that's a hike. We played out there in Harbor Fields. They're always a good, powerful program as well. West Hampton Beach, again, well-coached, always great athletes, kind of similar to a community like a Sayville. They're always in the mix. And then you got Hauppauge, they're going to Hauppauge again.
So the Colts with some early season tests, but this is no hesitation immediately going up against their rival Sayville when these two teams met much later in the season last year. It's the old debate, Mike. It reminds me in the NFL, do you want to play a division rival in the opener, or would you rather wait to see them when you have more film and you have a little bit better feel of their personnel, given the importance and the weight of the game? I think, listen, there's pros and cons of each side. I always like to face a team that is in that rivalry umbrella division much later on in the season as opposed to immediately off the top of the schedule.
Absolutely. You always want to play your tougher opponents at the end. But for Florida, you can take this and say, hey, guys, this is the best. This is what you're going to see, and we can build off of this. And then see them hopefully again in the playoffs, because that's kind of been the history for them. They see them whenever they see them. They usually see them again in the playoffs. So you can twist this game and build off of some of the successes you had, and hopefully build and make your defense a lot stronger.
So they are still working on the Sayville player. That is Luke Neugebauer, who is being assisted off the field with the help of a few members of the staff as he was shaken up on the last play. If you remember, he was the player that forced Taft to slip up right as he was crossing the first down marker. It was a great hustle play because if he didn't tackle him, there's a chance Taft could have taken off and headed all the way into the end zone. So they are going to continue to assist Neugebauer. Now two of his teammates will help him gingerly come off the field. And play will resume here. Fresh set of downs. Taft again on the run. And he's going to move that pile forward again. And he nearly had a first down run on his own on the first play.
So happy to see. We were talking about that before. Flat out. Got athletic. Got legs. Load up. Lead block for him. Let him run. Give him a little success, too, because he's, the drop back pass tonight has been struggling, I think, just because of the defensive pressure from Sayville's defensive line.
And you see Jaden Smith, the running back, coming out as a fullback, essentially, to push defenders out of the way.
Tell me, he's an electric running back. But I'll tell you, man, he's done such a great job blocking. My coach used to say that at college. If you don't block, you don't get the ball.
But you know what, Mike? It's hard to teach that. You have to have the desire and the want to do that, as, again, Smith is out in front of Taft, but Sayville breaks through and brings him down right around the first down marker. And they're going to wave off the chains here, and they're going to say that it was enough. So that'll give them a fresh set of downs.
Again, Labella on the tackle. It's nice to see a kid run sideline to sideline. These D linemen and O linemen, man, they go both ways. They are in shape. So they do a really good job of their condition. I like to see what these guys do in condition at practice, especially in the summer.
And we talked about Vitale having to replace Kyle Messina. Well, how about Labella taking over for Mikey Sands, who was the best defensive player in Suffolk County last season? And he was actually, Labella, a weak side defensive end because Sands manned the mic, and they moved him now to the mic, which is his natural position, but he's not missing a beat. in terms of getting back into the thick of things.
Yeah, and Mike's the toughest position to play. And then, that's not good.
Taft's just going to have to jump on it, and he is going to be brought down and sacked.
Javen Taft, man, again, he's all over the place. He's been a menace in the backfield.
And the snap just went off the fingertips.
Probably thinking of running before catching that ball.
And by the time he picked it up, Taft was right there. So that was Taft on Taft crime for those of you keeping tally at home.
No relation.
No relation, correct. Javen and Luke. In the same vicinity. And something tells me they were not discussing lunch plans for tomorrow.
Definitely not. Taft might have wanted that ball, but he didn't get it.
And we do have some brothers in this game, the Nuga Bowers, for example, so there are some familial relations, just not in terms of the Taft family. Taft going deep down the right side and just out of the reach of Engelhardt. Just a nail clipping away from hauling that in.
A little bit more air, a little bit more speed. You have that connection. They like that matchup, though. They like him. He's their number one target for sure. They go after him. They go at him all the time. Is that Vitale again on the edge? I don't know.
Well, that has been the mano-a-mano matchup. See whether or not maybe we could take another look at that last one, and we'll see that he had beautiful pocket presence here.
No.
And for that one, that was not Vitale. That was Jake Arado defending him, another wide receiver who also plays both sides. As you see, Taft just...
He had to step, too.
Had an opportunity just right over the outreached hands of Engelhardt.
Connect on two of those. You got 14 points.
So now he's going to throw it over to Jaden Smith. And Smith's not going to be able to turn the corner because of a man we haven't mentioned in quite some time, Jack Dolan, number 3.
Nice open field tackle again. He's the guy you want in open field against anybody's best runner, best anything. Because I'll tell you, I don't think that many people are going to tackle Smith this year.
I think Jaden Smith is going to be pleased when he doesn't have Dolan and Labella chasing after him moving forward here. So here, 4th and 25, and in all likelihood, they're going to be punting this.
Bad snap. Kind of kills him again.
Those mishaps, and we talked about that one nearly blocked, but they somehow get it off, and then it's going to take a friendly Sayville bounce as Engelhardt comes in to down it right at the 21-yard line, which is where Sayville will start its drive. Now, they put together a 90-yard touchdown drive early in the game, so no task is too overwhelming for the Golden Flashes, but a positive drive initially. They got some runs with Taft, and all of a sudden a sack and a mishap, and they went backwards, and that stalled what may have been the first opportunity for them to get into the end zone.
I think right now, again, I don't know if they're going to go for it here, or they're just going to kind of, go pass again, or they're just going to keep it on the ground and just kind of let the clock run out here. Not a bad time to go for it, though, if you want to put it away.
24 seconds left here in the third. And it is Vitale, makes one man miss and then slips up for a short gain.
Raymond Herrera, that was a nice job, nice tackle in the backfield. Put a pressure on, kind of made him kind of make a move, and he kind of slipped down on the turf there.
As that'll be the final play of the third quarter. It is all Sayville in their own backyard, 4 touchdowns to take a 26-0 lead with their offense on the field to start the fourth quarter. As we will step aside here on Long Island on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Lance Benno, Mike Murtha back here with you in Sayville, New York. First play of the fourth quarter. It's Cone taking off, making a man miss, trying to split another two as he is down at the 30-yard line, and looks like he was a little shaken up after this play, but he's going to stay in. And if you're Rob Haas, I guess you wonder, in a 26-0 game, you got to remind your quarterback, Patrick, we need you here beyond just this final quarter.
Yeah, high school football and college and NFL, there's no slide. They're going to run hard and put their shoulder down. But you got a long season ahead of you, so you might want to limit that now. Yeah, he's a little.
You can still see him grimacing a little bit. He's trying to shake it off.
Shake it off, there's no doubt.
I think Vitali's itching for a handoff from behind him.
And he got his wish.
Indeed. As Vitali cuts back and slithers through beyond the first down marker to move the chains.
I'll tell you, we haven't seen that from him, which is nice. That little slash, that little cutback. We've seen that. It's a nice job.
Little Hallahan-esque type of play,
Absolutely.
his teammate.
Boom. Beautiful. Way to put a foot in the ground and get positive yards. Great job. See it again. Sees the angle. Boom. And then again, the guy number 10. I'm trying to think who that was. Was that K. Diaz maybe? Number 10? K. Diaz, yeah. He got underneath the block. He just couldn't make the tackle. Tally just slashed underneath. Nice job.
10.5 minutes here in the fourth. Cone has plenty of time to survey the field. Now it breaks down, and he is sacked. A flag, though, does come in, but that was by far one of the best plays we've seen from the front of Hills West, Gerald Jackson Jr.
He looked like he might have been held, if I'm not going to be honest. I think he looked like he was almost tackled as he was trying to make that play. We'll see. Yeah, definitely.
So they're going to back up.
Great play here. I mean, he literally got tackled and then made the tackle.
And you'll see him coming in from the secondary.
Nice. Gonna push, gonna hold. Nice job on that. That was a great tackle.
That was a one-handed maneuver he did with his left.
And getting literally his shirt ripped off. Very nice.
Second and 18, and a strike to Bethea. And he was met the minute that he caught that football by Engelhardt.
Tell you, man, his release is just, he catches and releases the ball. He knows where it's going. Watch, you can see it. Catch, 1, 2, out. Beautiful. Right on target. Nice catch, too. The defender was draped all over him.
I think it also helps where he can see over just about anybody on the field, Mike, at 6'5".
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that luxury.
You don't have that luxury. Well, it's not as if I've had that luxury. He's only about 3 of me put together, if then some. I can't understand what the oxygen level is up in that area or neck of the woods as Cone delivers it over the middle, and another first down for the Golden Flashes as they continue to spread the wealth It's Jake Arado,
Number 5, Jake Arado.
who had a touchdown earlier in the game.
Love that little slant route. Hit it quick. Let your athletes make plays.
And look at how calm and easy he makes it look from the pocket.
Well, I think you know the notes again. He was a pocket passer. I mean, the shocking thing to me is the amount of running he has done tonight. So that's impressive. And whoever's scouting them for next week, watch out.
New element that they're intentionally working in. He's going to hold on to it. Speaking of his legs, and continue to dance his way beyond the defense. He's still on his feet, and Cone is brought down at the 5. My goodness. A man on a mission that will not be denied.
Wow, what a run. Long legs, he was high-stepping, a little bit of everything on that one. Man, he's feeling it tonight.
That was the full arsenal of Patrick Cone. And he doesn't even need a breather. He's ready to run the next play. It's amazing that he didn't get in the end zone. You're going to see here up the middle.
Right there.
There's one missed tackle. There's 2. And then here's a third. And then Diaz, of all players, able to muscle him down, number 10. So there's Jackson. Then we see Red. There's Caiazzo, who couldn't get him. And then Diaz basically had to pull him down by the back of the jersey in order to prevent him from getting it.
You're talking, he's running through some of their better tacklers and their better defensive players, and he's making them miss like that. That's impressive, man. That's, again, the reason why Lehigh saw the presence in him, and they got a good one coming to him.
Lehigh just wants to make sure that he's still in one piece with all this running by the end of the season.
Yeah, they might make a phone call to coach about that one.
May say Rob Haas needs to perhaps pull back on this mobility package that he is adding into the mix, but
maybe hand it off a little bit more, please.
Just especially in a 26-0 game when you have guys like Vitale and you have Hallahan, who is just also hungry.
We haven't even seen.
We have not, yeah.
The latest quarter, I don't think. But
and
he did the work in the beginning, and now it's Vitale's time. It's nice to have that option too.
It's a nice luxury, but I think it goes back to, Mike, what we talked about at the top of the broadcast, that they are still in a competition, the two. So they saw a little bit of Hallahan in the first half, and now they want to see maybe what Vitale can do with his style of running as they're putting both of them under the microscope.
Yeah, tonight, you know what, and that's a great job. They have the ability to do that tonight, which is nice. And they're both showing up. They showed up tonight, both from the play.
Especially with the comfortable lead, and it could get a lot bigger if they're able to punch it in here, as they are going to be facing here 1st and goal from the 5 with 8:32 to go in the fourth quarter. It's been Cone and Vitale. They're the two in the backfield. Vitale, with the lead blockers, gets stuffed and denied at the 1.
Great stop right there. If you could play that back and see, it's a nice job by the D line. I think they got to push in there.
Zach Lambrecht looked like he was in the middle of that. So still a 4-yard gain, but I'm going to see Vitale just could not push through. Jenkins came in from the backfield, and I think that was Lambrecht who was able to wrap him up. And that one is going to go down for a touchdown. So
like that quarterback sneak.
Patrick Cone is going to add yet another to his tally, and that is what you call the early exclamation point. A 32-0 lead, and the 3rd rushing touchdown of the day for Sayville.
Offensive line just pushing into the end zone. Beautiful. Neugebauer drove his guy all the way halfway through the end zone.
The only thing that was missing on that play was somebody pushing him from the tush from behind.
That's it.
Yeah, little Eagles-esque. As Reese comes in, and that is not going to make it even towards the uprights. That was blocked.
Oh, I think the hold might have been off on that one. That's all timing. You gotta get used to that.
And soccer kid playing football for the first time. It's understandable there's going to be some hiccups. Rob Haas even talked about that during the week. And when you're up 32-0, maybe a little bit easier to digest that when you try to right the ship and correct that. And I would think Mike, as Reese practices more and more, he'll be able to work with the long snapper and the holder to get down a system that will make that operation seem smooth.
Sometimes I wasn't looking at that last one, but sometimes you'll see from kickers, soccer kickers especially, they kick off the turf where another person would use a block. So it all depends on what they got to do.
He's probably arguing, just place the football down and let me run and kick it.
Exactly.
The hell with the snap and the hell with the holder.
You don't need anybody else in there.
Not at all.
It's like a free kick in soccer. Let's go.
A set piece for him.
Exactly.
See, we have the jargon down
We're good,
for
we're
just
good,
about
we're
any
good,
sport. You
we're
never
good.
know. Never know what you're going to hear here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
All right. Smith again.
Hills West is not going to get favorable field positioning because Sayville, again, hustling down the field.
Shane Goldsberry, nice job on the tackle. There's somebody else in there too that was an assist, but they swarm, and you could probably pick anybody on the team. I think a lot of guys had tackles tonight. It's Goldsberry, nice job.
Well, and if you're Sayville, the coaching staff, you're going to love the fact that when you look back at plays like this, you're up 32-0, but the effort is still as if they're trailing by 7 points.
No doubt, and I think that's something that goes with the history and the tradition of this program. Everybody wants a chance to play, so, and I'm sure Coach tells them, seniors and all the starters have to do your job, so hopefully you can get everybody else a chance to get on the field. Sometimes that doesn't always happen, especially against the Hills West matchup, which has become somewhat of a rivalry for them.
So the Colts just trying to get on the board for the first time today. With 7:50 to go in the fourth. Taffel handed off to Jaden Smith, and again, he just cannot get to the corner because the Sayville defense able to track him down.
They're loaded in the box. They're not. There's no attempt of even pass because the last series they were running with the quarterback, so they're just putting everybody up. They got 7, 8 guys in the box and man on the outside right now, I think.
Well, and they have not been able to hook up and connect with the deep ball, right? We've seen Engelhardt, but until that happens, it doesn't give Sayville's defense a reason to back up.
Yeah, and the DNs, they're getting so much pressure outside, and they're containing the quarterback, and once in a while he's able to get out, but hasn't been that often tonight. He'll learn, though. Young quarterback. I'm sure, guarantee you next week you'll see a difference.
Taff, he finds an opening, and then it closes abruptly as that defensive front, Labella as well as Brady Dolan. Names we've been having on a loop this evening.
Unbelievable. I'm still impressed that these guys are still standing, playing both ways, and their offense has been running up and down the field, so it's not like they're 3 and out and they're getting back on defense. They've been going nonstop the whole entire game. Great job by Dolan, shedding the block. Beautiful. He fell out into the inside afterwards. It was a nice job by him.
Linker was involved there too. There's 3 players.
Dolan has a brother on his team, correct, too? Brady? Is it Jack Dolan?
Jack and Brady.
Brady, right?
Well, that's why we said don't let the Taff relationship, which is not related, don't let that spoil and ruin the party here. It is a family affair still.
Nice job.
Taff still trying to run away from Sayville's defense, and he is not going to get out of the grasp, as that is going to be yet another sack, and it is 52, the man of the hour, John Andruskowicz, with his second of the day.
He is. You said the word relentless. He is non-stop. His motor has gone the entire game. Sheds the block, comes off. Dolan does a nice job containing him right there. Beautiful, beautiful play by Dolan.
And that was from the right side. Taff went all the way to the opposite side, then came back, and he still had enough time to pursue him.
Unbelievable. But again, you see the discipline of Dolan doing his job, set up the other guy for a tackle. I'll be honest, very selfless defense. They all just play together as one unit. Nice to see 11 hats on that football.
And the plays come to them as a result, Mike.
No doubt.
So 4th and 27 with the ball on the 4-yard line.
No big deal.
Well, but I thought, you'd want to take them even if he wanted to do that. At this point of the game, it's completely different what Sayville has in personnel. So the backup quarterback is Justin Ziva, but he's still an integral part of their offense as a wide receiver. So you're really not taking your main guys off the field, even if you did that.
Yep, and you said I think there's only one starting offensive lineman on that Hills. It showed tonight a little bit because of the experience of.
Ooh, and Taft took a late hard hit out of play, and you can understand why the flags just come in without any hesitation. And that's going to be an easy personal foul.
That's unfortunate.
As Taft was running out of play, and it looked like he took a hit in the midsection as he was out of bounds.
He's up, though. Tough.
For Hills on their own 48-yard line.
And he's running back on the field here.
It's great to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially as a quarterback, you want to. He looked like he's the toughest kid on there. So he took a lot of hits tonight.
Well, in the long run, Mike, I don't know what a score here would do, but you got to feel better about leaving this game if you can at least get some points on the board and find the end zone. And I think that at least is the goal, is they stick to the ground here. And look at everyone swarming towards the ball for Sayville.
And going back to what we said, I mean, I think, being a former defensive coordinator, same thing. It doesn't matter who we change out, the same philosophy. We all play fast. We all play physical. And to preserve that shutout is probably one of the defense's goal tonight. So.
As the final seconds tick away here, 2 seconds to go, and that is going to do it. They are on their feet, and they are all smiles here in Sayville, New York, because the Golden Flashes put down quite the exclamation point and statement in their opener at home over Hills West, 32-0. Patrick Cohn starting things off with a pair of passing touchdowns, mixing in the run. Overall, a balanced attack, and Rob Haas and company have quite the building block looking forward here.
Close to perfection on an opening night. Not many hiccups. I think their kicking game will get better as the season goes on. But other than that, I thought that was a full, complete game by the Sayville football program. Well done.
Offensive line maintained the line of scrimmage, and you can't talk enough about John Andruskowicz, who had a pair of sacks, Clarkson Richter, Javen Taft, Ben Klaska, Brady Dolan, Jack Dolan. So many players on defense deserve their flowers for just being in the right place at the right time and preventing Hills West. I think the biggest difference in this game is the lack of explosive plays on their offense.
And anytime Hills West got anything going, they had a penalty or something that put them back again. And I think Sayville, they kind of continued to just build and build off of every time they had a possession. And seeing that, Rob Haas has to be happy watching film tomorrow afternoon with his team, seeing what he did here tonight.
And he also has to be thrilled with adding George McLaren to the coaching staff, Mike, because that's what really was the major question mark coming in. If you put the personnel aside, continuity on the coaching staff, Rob Haas coming back as the head man in his second stint after he was the OC for the last 5 years. They knew him. He's running the offense still, but now you're bringing in somebody for the first time since 2000 outside of the program, and the defense posts a shutout right out of the gates.
Absolutely. It's kind of nice to be, as a head coach, also not to have to worry so much about the defense. Sometimes you get involved in everything, but being an OC, and like you said, it's been consistency since Rob's been the head coach. When he was the OC, Sands was here, and now you're bringing in a veteran guy like George McLaren, and there's nothing stopping them right now.
Reed Sands had retired after last season. He was the head coach from 2017 to 2024, wanted to spend more time with his family, and Rob Haas had the itch because he initially retired in 17, then returned as the OC. This program, as you mentioned, has been so consistent because the alumni and the players and the way they go about grooming things really makes it come across as if it's a well-oiled machine, and I can't think of a better way to describe the performance tonight.
And you can see that with the crowd that was here for Alumni Day tonight here. The youth program here is explosive in all their sports, and it's nice to see how many crossover athletes there are in the Sayville program, and even the Hills West as well. Between wrestling and lacrosse, it's nice to see that talent here on display tonight.
And for Hills West, listen, a transition. They lost their star quarterback, Joseph Filardi, so you knew there was going to be some growing pains. Luke Taft showed some athleticism on the ground, which is an asset they could build upon. But Gerald Filardi will be the first one to tell you, as we see him talking things over with his team, they need to gain experience because there are so many new players, maybe not new in the sense that they were on the roster, but they weren't on the field. And there's a huge differential between both of those factors.
Absolutely, and I'm going to, you look at Coach over there. I'm sure he's saying in that huddle, hey, you played the best. This is what you start off with. You're going to play the best. There's nobody better than them right now, and you have to build off this, and that's the next step to have to do. And hey, listen, you're going to get knocked down at times, but now it's what you do tomorrow in practice or the next day on Monday and regroup and, the next play mentality. So the next game up, I'm sure they'll be prepared. Coach Floyd will have them ready to go.
Well, Mike, this was a lot of fun.
I had a great time for my first time. I'm usually on the sideline, and I stepped away from football to be with my family, but I consider Varsity Media my family for all these years, watching all the different highlights and stuff, and they do a great job.
Absolutely. Well, this was a blast. It was a pleasure having you in the broadcast booth. I hope we are able to do it again sooner rather than later. It was so fun going back and forth. We appreciate everybody for tuning in, as well as our production staff, our executive producer, Ben Turchin, technical director, Becca Kazaks. For Mike Murtha, I'm Lance Meadows saying so long from Sayville, New York, where the final score, the Golden Flashes, shut out Hills West 32-0 here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.